Guys, let's exactly read what this talks about, and just read it. One first paragraph is talking about where they are going to implement it apart from the NEET PG. In every exam now being done by the NB, this pattern will be done. For you, what's important is the second paragraph, and you should all read it word to word. What they're telling you is the question paper in this examination will be divided into multiple time bound sections. For example, in NEET PG 24, if there are 5 time bound sections A, B, C, D and E in the question paper, each section will have 40 questions and 42 minutes of time allotted. Candidates will be restricted from proceeding to the next session until they complete the allotted time for the previous section. Additionally, candidates will not be allowed to review the questions or modify the responses for a section after the completion of its allotted time. The question for the next section will start automatically after the completion of allotted time for the previous section. Second thing important for all of us who are appearing for this exam is the third point. The third point says candidates are given the option to mark any question whether attempted or not for review, okay, as it was before. But what that means is, this means that candidates can go through these marked questions in a section again before the allotted time for that section ends. It's important to note that questions marked for review will be evaluated. This has changed again. This was not there in NEET PG, was there in INICT, but they have implemented this also in the NEET PG. Actual time bounds restrictions in the exam may vary on the total number of questions in the exam paper and operational feasibility of creating such section. This is just a way to make the things applicable to all of us. Actually, it means a lot of things has changed. When the exam pattern is changing, like in 2016 around, a prometric type of exam came, in which there were six paper. And you might have seen your seniors also doing the same, that there were 6 paper and all you were divided into various days and morning and evening time. And everyone was so much devastated by that, because some used to get easy questions, some used to get tough questions. Thankfully, they have not gone to that pattern. Now that's a good thing we can think about. If I would be in your position, how would I see this entire thing? So if we just conclude this, we have 40 questions to be given in 42 minutes. Abhi now, just leave around 200 questions. Let's look at the bigger picture right now. The bigger picture is, initially there were 200 questions to be given in around 3 hours. 3.5 hours to be more precise. In 3 hours, it's around 180 minutes. So practically you used to give 200 questions in 180 minutes. Precisely okay. What usually I used to tell any student is, what you do, out of 200 questions, attempt the entire paper and leave around 50 to 60 questions. Just leave them around. Okay, just leave these questions. Again come back to this after the entire paper is over. Now can we do this right now? We can't. So what we should first understand is, how many questions would you like to attempt in the entire paper? Let's first calculate that. To be in a race of a NEET PG exam, usually we would say you to attempt around 180 to 195 questions. Okay, that's a pretty decent number of attempts you do. Usually we don't say to attempt all 200 questions, because some of the questions we have never heard about, and just in a way to attempt more, we make more and more mistakes. So ideally, I would say to attempt 180 out of 200 questions. Let's divide this 180 questions. So 180 questions matlab, in each section, you are allowed to leave how many? 4 questions, right? So in this, just divide this whole thing. Now in this 40 questions to be given in 42 minutes, I am allowed to leave a maximum number of 4 questions, because who knows, next one will be more tougher. So I don't want to do that. The maximum attempt I can leave is 4 questions. Achha. It means this 40 questions go. I'm not that I will be able to read all the questions, because once I see a question, it makes me anxious. Long questions, how can I read this? Who knows, if my second, third, fourth question, fifth question is very long and I don't get time to read the last 10 questions. So I will be leaving all of those. So what we should do is, our idea should be to finish these 40 questions in 30 minutes. Leaving out any question. So it should be a right decision at right time. When you see a question, now don't think, attempt kare, nahi kare. Karna hai karo, nahi karna hai mat karo. That decision has to be taken at that spot only. And how will this decision ability come? Only by one way. Giving multiple guide tests. Practice cannot be done on 23rd of June. Practice should not be done before 7 days or 23rd of June. Practice should be done right now from here onwards. What you should do is, if you see a long question in the GT also, leave that question instantly. Don't even read that question. And come back to that question again while this for 30 minutes is over to read that question again. If you start reading all the long questions, a time would come when you are able to read only 30 questions or 40 questions. And who knows, the last 10 questions so easy, you know every answer of it. A long question, 1 mark. Short question, also 1 mark. So why would I waste more time on a long question and not reading even a short question? Because if I get to know the last 5 questions which I left was a previous question and which I knew the answer, but I didn't get time to read it, that's not good. That's not at all good. So how to plan in the entire way? First of all, make up your mind right now that in this 40 question I'm getting, the basic what they will do, I probably is, they would divide this 40 question into around 30 plus 5 plus 5 is written there. They would divide this question in that way. It's not a subject wise division. It's a length wise division. 30 question would be around a short question, 5 would be around long question, and 5 would be image based question. That is what I feel because of the various ideas that we have developed throughout the years. Now, if there's a 5 long question, I would not be reading this question my first go. I would leave this. I would try to first look into these 30 short questions and then go to these 5 image-based questions, because images, believe me, is more easier. It gives you a way. हाँ, कुछ तो समझ में आ रहा है, lungs तो दिख रहा है कम से कम. The questions of lungs only. Kidney तो दिख रहा है. So it will not make me more anxious. It will decrease my anxiousness because at least I know the questions of ECG. So I can at least think in that way. So what I'll do, I'll first read this 30 question, go to the 5 image-based questions, and then again come back to this 5 long questions. Because this long question will not be always very tough. Many times it's very easy. Long question को कैसे पढ़ना है? When you get a long question, first thing you should do is read the last line, always, and then look at the options. Then start reading the question above. What will happen is, when you read this long history, because you read the last line, you know what are they trying to ask you. Because you have seen the options, you try to include that option in the question. कहाँ लिखा है, कहाँ लिखा है, कहाँ लिखा है. It saves time and also makes you more focused towards reading the entire question. So in the long question, first of all read last line, then read the options, and then go on reading the big histories. In long question, always search for few things: age, negative history, male, female, and any lab values they have given. Try to search for this. Negative history is always mentioned in a long question, which will help you to exclude one of the options. So let's move forward now. 40 questions go and divide into 30, 5 and 5. In case I have not been able to read this 5 question and it got submitted, हो सकता है? What is there? Let's wait for the next part. Don't get anxious, because this whole exam pattern has changed only to check your anxiousness. Nothing else has changed. This whole type of pattern has changed only to see how much we can perform good in the worst of the worst scenarios. It's like an OPD case. You are given 1 hour to see 60 patients. Would you leave anyone? No. Somehow you have to see this. एक सर्दी खांसी केस है, sinusitis, लिखो. एक big case है, ask him to you wait. I'll see you. ऐसे करते हैं ना? A long case has come, you ask this patient to sit. We see at the last. Similarly, you should see the short question first and then see the long question at last. But even if I have not read these 5 questions, I will not get worried about it, because I know next option, next section, I will do better and better. But to do this, the only way you can do this is practice questions on daily basis now. Time has started to practice questions on daily basis. How would you do this? You should make a custom module. And this custom module should not be non-exam. The 2 modules we make a custom module. Remember? One is exam oriented, one is just a time oriented. Try to give a time oriented question. Do you put 40 questions in 30 minutes? Give yourself pressure. Make yourself anxious while you're practicing questions. Do not get anxious in main exam. Main exam में काम रहना है. Abhi make yourself as much anxious as you can. Because when you practice this way, your mind is set. I don't know few questions, but still I am performing good. Once you do this practice of 40 question 30 minutes, you get more and more practice in this way. Third is grand test. I don't know how many of you are giving grand test. I'm not aware of it. But practically I would say, the best time to give a grand test has started. Even if you're prepared, half prepared, well prepared or not prepared, give a grand test. The idea of giving a grand test is not to score the best or the best marks. Not at all to look at the ranks. Idea of giving a grand test is tell yourself, can I read 200 questions? That's the first question you ask. Or am I getting disoriented? I'm trying to read a question 1, 2, 3, 4 and then something is not allowing me to read the other questions. Something else is going in the mind. You should talk to yourself. These questions are my life now. And the only thing I should doing for a few days coming up is this only. Because your life is your exam GT only. Read every question in a way that this question is your life. Don't take it lightly. When I was seeing a student giving a grand test at 9 p.m. in the evening. 9 p.m. When she's completely drenched out. From 9 to 10, they read every question very well. Then after dinner time, छोड़ दिया बीच में. Or someone has called you, छोड़ दिया बीच में. And you don't read the 200 questions. This is not a right way to give a grand test. Give a grand test in the fresh of your mind. When you give a grand test, what you should do is keep a piece of paper. Suppose there's a piece of paper, okay? And this paper, you should keep on writing every question which is confusing to you. Example, question 2, question 4, question 10, question 15. Just write this question. And at the end of giving these 200 questions, first look into their confusing questions. Because these are the questions that you are confusing in. It is your own confusion. It's not a question you made wrong. But some option in the question 4, maybe A or B, was confusing you. You marked B, but you have written question 4. So when you go to review the grand test, this question number 4, it should be the first question to be seen. Because that's your confusion, not someone else's confusion. The question which was confusing you should always be reviewed first in a grand test. Post this confusing question, look at those questions which are left alone. Then, or maybe wrong questions. And then you see the wrong question that you left alone. Finally, if the question is right, you can maybe see the question or you can ignore the question. Many students ask me, how much time we should take to review a grand test? I'll give an honest answer. If my score in GT is suppose 100 out of 200, so I have to review 100 questions minimum. I would take not less than 6 to 8 hours minimum. If my score is 140, I would take 4 hours. So I cannot generalize this answer. So how much time I'll take to review a grand test? It depends upon what your score is. Ideally, I believe that most of us giving grand tests nowadays, our score usually right now is in the range of around 120 to 100. Itna aega. Because now the grand test being done is a bit tougher range. And now because NIST is coming up on this 5th or 6th, this grand test will be more easier. So if your score is around 100 to 120, take around minimum 6 to 8 hours to review a grand test. And how to review? First see the question you written in the paper. Then see the question you made wrong. And finally come to the question which you left alone. If a question has been made right by you, you can either see it or don't see it. I don't think it's the right time to write the right answer or wrong answer in a separate copy. You don't have time for that. Just bookmark those questions in the app. And ensure after 5 days or 7 days, you minimum see these questions. Because if you don't revise something, it's as good as never read it. The more you revise, the more you remember. So anything that I made wrong in these few days, I'll 100% ensure I have revised it. And the best way to revise is, if you bookmark a question, put in a separate folder in your mobile phone. And that mobile phone folder should only be those questions which you're making wrong or you want to revise it before the exam. Don't put anything else. Don't save everything in the same folder of images. One question will come for a paper, a second question will be good morning message. I'll distract you. Don't do this. Keep every question that you want to revise in a separate folder, make it your forgettables and see this question again and again. In the break time, sabhi break time hai, you are getting 10 minutes. See these questions. Don't bother what your friends are saying. Bother about yourself. It's your life, it's your exam. Take onus, take responsibility. And be truth. Be true to yourself. ऐसा मत करना कि sir, I don't want to give a grand test because I feel the day I give a grand test, I'll score 140. Right now I don't want to give a grand test. No, ऐसा नहीं करो. Give a grand test, accept your mistakes and improve on that. Even if you're getting 90 or 100 or 80 marks, it's still time you can go to 130, 140. How? By analysis of your mistakes. Because abhi the subjects are getting over. Because you revise over multiple times going ahead, your scores will surely improve. You're reading something for the first time, the scores don't improve much because the recalling power is less. But once you read it after the exam is or the course is over, you at least revise for twice or thrice. How? Now, देखो, today is around 5th of May, right? Our exam is on 23rd of June. How would I divide that time? Our course here is finishing at the end of May, right? So we have around 23 full days for revision. But I will not waste this time because I have realized if I waste this time, I have no chance. I absolutely have no chance. 23 days mein, no one can prepare best. So what I will do is, I'll first look into those subjects being covered in this May time. Abhi subject pathology ka hai, I don't expect myself to revise medicine. But at least what I can do is revise pathology. So what I would do personally is try to solve all the PYQs, just PYQs of path till 1 to 2 days after the path is over. So if my class is over tomorrow, start from tomorrow till the next day, that is 7th of evening, try to revise whatever you can in the notes. From 7th onwards, that's 7th and 8th, try to do all the PYQs. If you can just be thorough for PYQs, you're sorted. Notes, PYQs and a few grand tests. Nothing more is required to get a very good rank. Very good rank, qualification छोड़ दो. Very good rank. 3 things are required. One is your notes, one is a PYQ and one is a testing, which we call as grand test. So what I would do is, at least in the month of May, whatever subject is being done here, I'll try to complete that by putting more extra effort. So when I go back home, I'll ask myself, do I want to write this subject in the month of June? Will I get that amount of time? No. If your answer is yes, छोड़ दो. If your answer is no, revise करो. सर बहुत थक जाते हैं, feel very tired. You know, if you can just do this extra thing this year, before 23rd, next year, whole year will be saved. It all depends upon this extra hours you can put in these few last months. Like the marathon है. Last week you have to sprint, and last has come. Do not sleep early. Please wake up. Please work for yourself. Ensure you read the most highlighting topics of that subject. For example, from morning, I have taught you a lot of things. I told you this topic is very important, this topic is very important, and you have marked it all. At least revise those things. जैसे vegetations, पढ़ लो उसको. Don't sleep before reading that. I told you IHC, like CD marker, very important. पढ़ लो उसको. I told you the new updates of the cancer therapy, उसको पढ़ लो. कितना टाइम लगेगा? 1 hour? इतना तो करेंगे ना. And once the class is over, solve the PYQs. Bas. In this way, at least the syllabus that is being done in the month of May, I'll finish it up. From 1st of June, what I'll do is, I'll try to see outer subject left out, which is my weakest. I'll not ask my friend, what is your weakest? I'll ask myself, what is my weakest? My weakest, suppose, is gynae ops. I'll make a schedule, weakest in the morning 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. and strong ones from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. From 11 p.m. till 1 a.m. I'll put all the PYQs of the subject which is weak. Suppose gynae is here and strong, suppose radiology is here. So gynae radiology PYQs in the 11 to 1 a.m. Daily routine. I'll try to finish as much as possible till 15th of May. From 15th of May, I'll again pick up those subjects which is done in this month and try to finish it in 2 to 3 days. And this will really make you very confident going in the main exam. Time is still there, provided this month of May is used in the best possible way. Don't feel underconfident. जितने लोग prepare कर रहे हैं ना, everyone is the same boat. Everyone is being anxious. Sir, I can't read. Sir, I feel very much demotivated. It happens to all of us. The only person who will become consistent right now will get it. Because I can only motivate you, and motivation can help you to start. But what helps you to end is consistency. If you are consistent, only then you will be able to end your plan. If only you can start it, you can't end it. So please be consistent. Do not make a graph. 10 hours, 2 hours. 10 hours, 2 hours. No. Read for daily for 10 hours for the next few days remaining. 10 hours daily. Class hai, I'll take 2 hours. Nahi hai, full 10 hours. Don't feel tired. You know the whole, how I got a motivation when I was about to apply for my AIMS exam. That my faculty told me, Praveen, you have entered MBBS when you were 18 years of age. Right now you are around 24 years of age. You have spent 6 years in MBBS. You will practice till at least 70 years of your life. That means the next 45 years of your life would depend upon these 3 to 4 months. How can you get tired? How can you even sleep? 3 months may you can make your entire life better. Every year you will spend next year onwards, you will say, I am an obstetrician, I am a pathologist, I am a pediatrician. Only with this effort you are putting in these months. The moment you feel, I am tired, don't get up. Sit and tell yourself, I will not get up. This is how you get a good rank, dear. Or kuch nahi hai. It's all about extra hours you can put right now. This all exam pattern will keep on changing. What matters is how much you remember from these notes. Ensure if a question has come from the notes, you will not make it wrong. Best God is there with us. Ensure when you give a GT, don't submit GT after reading 100 questions. Read till full 200 questions. Read all 200 questions to 4 options, 800 options. Don't say, yaar I'm tired yaar, I'll just submit it. मन नहीं कर रहा. अरे तुम्हारे मन से क्या होता है? Who are you? मन तो कभी नहीं करेगा ना. Why will we? I want to study. It is all about this 45 years which you have to think about and keep on studying. Don't stop before that. Few months, days are remaining. Please work for yourself, not for anyone else. Work for only yourself. Our parents who are expecting a lot from us, show them. And you know what happens sometimes? I am very anxious and you are anxious. I speak to you. I am not getting very good marks in GT. She is also not getting good marks in GT. No, we are talking. Okay? Should I not give a GT? She would say, हाँ. 2 anxious people have decided. Don't take your granted. Don't do like this. Listen from someone who has done it. Don't talk to someone who is already anxious here. He will only make you anxious. Talk to someone who is not at all anxious, not your parents. Or talk to someone who is not rated. But if you say someone, I can't say it. वो भी ये बोल रहा है. And both deciding, चलो घूमने चलते हैं. Solution मिल गया. That's not how you should do this. This is all your life for the next coming days. Spend in the best possible way. Let every hour count from here onwards. बहुत कम time बाकी है. And you can all do it. Be confident. Rank ऐसे ही आता है. Every good student who has done it just told ourselves this one thing. Sir, last 2 days में ना, I was not thinking what's morning, what's evening. I just thought, this is my study table, I have to sit here. Everyone told me this. Not a single person told me, sir, last 2 days I was relaxed, chilled. Chill कहाँ से हो जाएगा? Chill कब हो गए? 23rd of June after 2 PM. तो 24th का टिकट है ना? याद है? I told you 24th का टिकट है हमारा. We are going to somewhere. Be relaxed. Study for that. Will surely do very good. And this all exam pattern will do all good about it. But they're doing those things I just told you. Okay? Feel proud about yourself and make someone proud who is waiting for you at home. Our parents. They have done a lot for us. We have to give it back to them. Okay? In case of any doubts that you have, you can surely approach me after the class or maybe tomorrow. We'll surely talk about this more and more. Okay?